All right, yesterday was very, very interesting. I thought that was it, especially in silver, big down, -3%, I think it was at one point. And I thought that's it. We're gonna now have a couple of days where we go down. This is your little mini sell-off. Haven't seen this in a long time. It felt like I hadn't seen it in a long time. And honestly, by the middle of the day, I was distracted. I look back, we've recovered. We recovered, and it almost looks like, I don't want to say it's a bear trap, but well, by the end, it's almost as if it was an unchanged day, but it's big candles. So there you go, just very indecisive. And already this morning we're recovering, and this morning we have some news, right? We have NFP, I think it's ISM. We have two or three big news, especially NFP. Basically, it's all dependent on that. I mean, if yesterday we closed at low of day, it's almost as if NFP wouldn't help. The candle would be so bad that you're kind of destined to go lower no matter what happens with NFP. But here, the way the candle's closed, it's very, very possible, especially in silver, I would say, that we go all the way back up when we close around high of, around 3,900, 3,890 or something. So basically, it all comes down to the data, I would say, today. But we could close with a very nice daily, weekly candle. And because the massive sell-off took place yesterday, we've washed out a lot of weak hands, let's say, and normally I would have been one of those weak hands. At least I would have trimmed a little bit, but I didn't, right? I've decided not to trim. I'm still a bit unsure. Plus, yesterday it's just on the open, bam, it opened down. I wouldn't have trimmed anyway there, and I didn't. I wasn't sure if I should or not, and I'm just not doing it. And this market has a way of just washing out people, I would say. So in the end, indecisive. Let's see what happens with the news. So gold is okay. Could definitely close at the highs if NFP favors the bullish metals move. Silver, same candle. Already today, quite a decent recovery, actually, almost up 1%. I mean, look, you go up, you close near 48. 48 equals 3,900 in gold. And then you got this beautiful, imagine the weekly candle where you close all the way up. You're just gonna, honestly, you close all the way up at 40, 48 today, near 48. Next week, you're just doing one last big candle to 50. And who knows, it could go straight through 50, close above 50, and then the week after you keep going. This is crazy. I really thought yesterday, imagine that red candle at the low of day. It just looked really destined for a drop. But I don't even need to look at where we're going to go in terms of support because it looks okay today. Now, if NFP is bad and we come back down, then, if we close below 46 in silver, then you can start looking at support. I'll make that video. Support will be 44 point, like maybe here. Maybe 44, actually. Maybe 44. But anyway, I can do a weekend video for that if it drops. Let's see. Let's see what happens. But support is going to be a nice video. I mean, finding the support on the way down. Silver will be bought. It is some easy dip buying stuff, gold and silver. Lots of levels, lots of fundamentals to back up why you're gonna buy the dip. So in the end, it looked okay. Now the mining ETFs, they were the ones that looked, especially SILJ. Look at those. That's GDX. I mean, imagine at low of day, this in particular, that looked so heavy. And in the end, look how much it recovered. 50-minute chart. They all have the same sort of chart, like bam at the open, boom, 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 horrible. And then by the end, you just recover. This is beautiful recovery, like non-stop green candles. And you just recovered so much. And today, if you're going to open with gold and silver up a little bit, which is the case, you're probably going to open around here. You'll probably be trading the 78s. So straight away, you're trading near the highs. And this is just washout stuff, which is a strong candle. Like that is not a bearish candle. It's more bullish than bearish, I would say. Um, and if you've got NFP, which is good, you're going to go straight to 80. So in the end, I can't believe it, but it's actually quite bullish. Incredible. GDXJ, same thing. Same thing. Maybe even more bullish GDXJ than GDX. Could close above 102. No problem if the news favors SIL. Not as strong, but then again, silver was probably weaker than gold. But same thing, if the news is good, up we go. 74 on deck. Great weekly candle for that. SILJ, yeah, it makes sense. Right, junior and silver, so a bit weaker, but same thing. Decent recovery, not bearish. Still intact trend. If news is good, up you go, maybe 24. Let's see, the open would be here. Yeah, it could do, could do. And then it's super strong weekly candle. Imagine the candle ends at high of day. Now let's just also imagine low of day. If you start to close with an extra candle below 22, then down you go, fill the gap 21, and then you got to make sure it holds here. Otherwise, you're going to come a bit lower. But I welcome that. I am ready to buy the dip. I think a lot of people around the world are. I'm not going to be too aggressive on the first levels, but I will be very aggressive as we go down one or two levels if that happens. But again, I'll make another video on that. Portfolio update, Newmont. That's very strong. Jesus, that's green. Can you imagine that half the stocks ended up green, especially the gold stocks? I mean, after a move like that being green, that's extremely bullish. Yeah, that's gonna close above 88. Any type of up move in the metals today by the close, you are gonna be easily above 88, like 90 next week, basically, Newmont. Barrick, that's a very nice candle. Basically confirmed that that is now your low. Update today, and you're going to trade and test back around 35.5/36. Looks like continuation on deck next week. Some of them are going to have really nice charts if we close at high of week. Agnico, not as good, but same dilemma. Up you go. Ah, that'll go up with gold. Basically, it just follows gold. That's its job. Pan America, I think that outperformed SIL. That'll look good. Close above 40 finally. Let's have that close above 40. Then on you go to 44 next week, right? Up you go to 44. That's a 10% move. That's doable. I mean, silver next week is going to test 50 or cross 50. So yeah, Pan America will test its all-time high. We close above 40 today. Next week, silver tests 50. Pan America's at 44. I don't think that's unreasonable. Wheaton, good. Not as good, but as long as you got that big bounce from the lows, that's good. If you start to see stocks where they close at low of day despite what the miners did and gold and silver, then massively underperforming, that's not the best signal. But Wheaton, that's fine. Not the best, but not bad. Franco Nevada, same thing. Actually, if we, yeah, good support. Metalla, very good. Green. This one, yeah, especially yesterday's candle kind of gave it away. I think this one wants to move to 740, I think, no, 730. It wants to test and cross $7. Maybe it can do it today if we have a nice green day. Look, my God, I am gold. That's a really good day. Close at absolute high of. All right, so that is just. See, that's the kind of stock I would have trimmed probably yesterday, but I didn't. Normally, I would sell this at 13.39, but this is going to absolutely scream and close the gap today if we're up. Obviously, it's all predicated on being up. 14.49 gap fill could happen today. Or is that too much of a move? Is that too much of a move? 10%, that's too much. But into the gap we go. That's the strongest candle out of all the stocks I own so far. That's like perfect. That's actually really good. Equinox, that's okay. Yesterday had a very bad candle. Actually, sorry, the day before, given that candle there on Wednesday, what happened on the big flush today, that's actually quite a good candle. You'd expect this to go way low on the flush at low day. It should have ventured all the way down to like low tens, but not even. So that's actually quite good, I would say. Smooth it out. This is your real resistance. And it ended green. Wow. Good point. B2 gold, perfect candle, but like I am gold. That wants to venture all the way up here. That's gonna move into the mid fives. Definitely 540 is on deck for B2 gold today. If the news is good, Harmony, pretty good. Pretty good. Testing 19. Yeah, despite the flush, that's pretty good. Aris Mining. Yeah, average. Pretty good. closed around $10. That used to be impossible resistance, so that's not bad on a day like yesterday. SBSW, I'm seeing a lot of people talk about palladium and platinum and all these other metals looking really good. I don't know if it's you guys, maybe it's just my Twitter feed, but a lot of people, lithium and all this, and it reminds me of SBSW, which is to me like a multi-metal um, beast. This is just gonna, I think this is just destined for 20 no matter what. So that's okay. Like down 1%. That's pretty good given the chaos. All right, let's check the silver stocks, which were weaker than gold stocks. That's okay. Same sort of candle. Yeah, actually, your resistance is now here. That's okay. Down 1.5%. Not bad. Not great. Not bad. Fortuna. That's pretty good for Fortuna. That's pretty good for Fortuna. Yeah. Basically unchanged on a day where we're red. On a day where we were down like 3% in the ETFs at one point. That's good actually. I think this one wants to go and test its all-time high. It should be testing its all-time high. I mean, a lot of them have just I don't like it. This I don't like this stock, but it's gonna at least test its all-time high. Possibly today if silver ends up nice and no, not today. That's too much of a move. CDE next week though if we close well. Pretty good. For something that's gone up non-stop, I would have expected CD to be destroyed. And I think it was down 5% at one point. That's what I remember at the opening, like down 5% CD. I thought, okay, that's nothing for what it's done. But if we drop, like you're gonna start to see CD down 17% in 2 or 3 days because it's just it needs to drop a lot. And in the end, down 0.5%, basically unchanged. Honestly, if we end up green today, some of these stocks that I thought were going to come down quite a bit, they're going to end up looking like next week we're going to have a big push to 50 and the best thing to do would have been to buy the dip or just hold, which thankfully I did. So that is very impressive for CDE. This, I mean, given how much it's gone up. Heckler down 1.5%. That's okay, no problem. For me, that's just an unchanged day. A lot of them have this candle anyway. EXK, bit weaker. You can see it went all the way below the last couple of lows. Obviously, it bounced. That's okay. But that I think this one, if we start to have down days, this is filling the gap. I think I said that in my last video. This one would, yeah, the candle before it was the ugliest candle. What do they call it? Shooting star, where it's closing at low of day and completely rejected despite a new high. So actually, that explains why it went lower. It's probably straight away at the beginning of the day, just down, down, down. And then because we bounced, okay, that's okay. The last two candles, the one on Wednesday and Thursday, it kind of washed people out at the top and down here. So it could be okay. Well, anyway, if we go down next week, we fill the gap, we go up, we're gonna close above 820, we're gonna run towards $9. EXK is one of the ones that is just capable of running hard. And I think it will do that if we cross 50 and 50 becomes support. The juniors, I didn't buy, I didn't sell, I didn't touch anything. This is actually probably a good place to buy aftermath. These juniors, I'm very happy I didn't put much into them because since buying them, it feels quite toppy, even though I think we're going to go higher. And, I'm starting to see these dilutions. Reminds me of why I never wanted to own them in the first place. This probably would have been a good buy, actually, but okay. This should be support. And this candle makes sense given what happened yesterday. Down 2.5%. That's pretty good. Here's one of your little dilution boys, right? So, okay, that's pretty good candle, I think. Ends up down 1.5% despite recent bad news and a big drop in silver. I think that's okay. That's actually quite good, I think. That candle, I think quite a few people bought that dip. I didn't. I think I'm just going to hold what I've got and just look at other stocks. Jag, yeah. Well, again, I don't own much, but that looks really good. This one, I don't know that much about it, but I'm just looking at it. This wants to go all the way to 11. And it would probably do it even if silver didn't really move much. Jesus, that's scary. I just know this one's going to go up to 11. I don't know why. It's just the chart. It just explains that it deserves to be here regardless of the price of silver and gold, probably. And now it's just going to go up because of to catch up with the price. I don't know. It's just this is looks really nice. This chart speaks to me. Yeah. Okay, that's a big move. In the end, down 2.5%. That's okay. Bit of a stronger move compared to the others. But this one, because of the last couple of candles, it made up for all the bad news. This one, if silver goes up, silver and gold go up, this takes out 19, runs to 20. No doubt about that. Unless new bad news comes out, the short attack continues. I don't like being in a stock where there's news associated like that. There's one more, isn't there? KNT or something? What the hell's that called? Let's get it wrong. Kootenai Silver. That one had a bad day, but the trend is intact still, down 6%, closed near low. Okay, that's probably the worst chart candle that I've got so far, and it's the last one, I believe. All right, there you go. Let's see. It's all about the news today and how the metals react. If we close at low of day and we take out yesterday's low, it looks like it's time for a bit of a retracement for like a couple of days, which would be healthy, but it's going to hurt the portfolio, but it'd be healthy, and we're going to go all the way back up, I think. But if we close a high of day in gold, silver, like 3,900 gold and 48 silver, or who knows, even higher, because this type of news, NFP, like that moves the metals. It's gonna look so bullish, especially for washing out people yesterday. And it kind of resets the RSI and all that. And you've got ammunition, you've got energy to make the push to 50 in silver straight away next week and gold to 4,000. That's uh that's pretty cool actually. All right, good luck.